What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Dash today. It is the 21st day of November, and here we are at about $66 with 8 hours and 32 minutes left. And I feel like I might be wrong on this one, you guys. We might be going lower, right? What do I mean by might be wrong? First and foremost, we called the high, we called the low, and we did call for some volatility, but I did not expect that the price would go down this low, right? So in that sense, I'm wrong. I was expecting that from here we'd probably move up higher and we go up to this $230 to $400 price area, 300 to 400 specifically. And that might still happen. In that sense, we might be right, but perhaps we go lower first and then we come up higher. And I'm starting to think that we could go lower. I'm not completely convinced one way or the other right now. For most of this time, I've been very convinced that we were going to go higher. Since this high, right? We called the low perfectly, and since that time, I've been very convinced that we were going to go higher. But as of today, right now, with what we've seen happen over the last 12 hours, or I suppose 20 hours, I am starting to consider that we could go to the downside. Again, it's like 50-50 for me right now. I wouldn't say I'm convinced one way or another. So with that, I want to give some if-then statements, right? If Dash can hold this level for support, then we're good. You have to hold this level for support, and you have to get back above this price here. If you can get above about 86 bucks on a daily closing basis, we're back to full-on bullish mode until we see 230, 300, $400, whatever it might be, somewhere in that zone. If, however, we go below this line, we go below these lows, and we close below there on a daily or 4-hour basis, it's not just a wick, a fake out wick, and then we move back up. If we close below about $62 any given day or 4-hour period before moving above this high, then likely we do have lower to go. Right, this might be a greater overall A, B, C correction, and in which case we might go down right between 40 and 50 bucks there. We really might go right into that area. And if we are going lower, again, we know we go lower if we break this line. Breaking implies a daily close below 62 bucks. From a low here to a high here, $52 to $42 would be the price area, right? The 1618 to the 1272. That's the intended zone. So if we were to go lower, that would be the area that we go to. Likely we would find support. Likely we would from there build some structure, some positive structure, and then continue up and on our merry way on a later date to those prices that we were once assuming. If I'm wrong about the downside, I shouldn't say if I'm wrong. I'm not really calling for the downside. I'm just more saying that that could happen, right? I'm not going to celebrate that I was right down here, right? We'll celebrate that we were a little bit more cautious, that we weren't calling for the upside. We won't be dead wrong, but just like if we move up from here, I'm not going to be like, I told you we were going to move up. I will be in I told you so mode after we get above this point, right? Once we get above this point, then I'll be like, okay, now we're going up. Every time we go up, okay, yes, I told you so. But until then, we're kind of in limbo. I hope I'm making sense. I don't know if I'm phrasing it the right way. All I'm trying to say is regardless of what the price does, I'm open to either outcome, okay? $66 now. If we get above $86 on a daily closing basis, good. If we close below $62 on a daily closing basis, bad. We've talked about the downside, somewhere between $42 to $52. Now let's talk about the upside. If we're talking about the upside from a high to a low, the expectation there would be that we continue to the next levels, which would be anywhere from about $250 to about $450. Let's just say maybe even $500, somewhere in that range. To me, it would make more sense that we stop below 400. If we look at Dash on its all-time history, if you take the high, the all-time high to the low here, the golden ratio is right there at about $287 to $400. So I really doubt that we get above $400 on the first attempt. It can happen, but likely we don't. If we were to get above $400 on the first attempt at this golden ratio here, then I would say we likely do top off then at about $615. And $615, we can make sense out of that because if we take this high to this low here, that is right around our 2618 double golden extension right up here. So 675, 615, pretty close together compared to where we are now. That could be a point at which we find resistance. But again, in order to do that, you'd have to break through the golden ratio here on the first attempt and your prior cycle highs on the first attempt. I just don't know if I see that happening. So if and when we move up, again, first and foremost, we need to close the day above 86 bucks. Then I'll be convinced that we have higher to go. Then we'll be talking very cavalier about these in a very cavalier way about 287 to $400. Right now, we're a little bit cautious. Let's just wait and see, right? It's not good. It's not good at all to let me show you. Let's actually look at it on a weekly time frame. Let's see, low to a high. There we go. So from this low to high on the fib, it's not good at all to go from your 382 to your 236 and back to your 382. We've seen this happen, and I'm not going to make this mistake again. With Ethereum, from a low here to the high here, the writing was on the wall that we go down to $2,600. The writing was on the wall. I just ignored it. I didn't want to believe it. We found support at the 382. We rejected the 236, and right here I was saying we were going to bounce. I did say if we break the 382, then we will go to this area or lower. I did say that as well. But again, I got it wrong because I was calling for the bounce there, right? Here, so the difference here between what I said here for Ethereum versus where we are now in Dash, do you see it, right? 382, 236, and then we're back at the 382. 382, 236, and we're back at the 382 here. Here, I was bullish. I was saying we're going to move up. We're going to get a double bottom. It's not likely, but still, I think that we're about to move up. I got a bullish feeling across the whole markets. I thought we were going to move up. Here, I'm not bearish just because of Ethereum, but I'm not bullish either. I'm more neutral. I'm in a wait and see. We could do the unlikely thing. We could find a double bottom at the 382. It's not that it's statistically probable, but it can happen. I've seen it happen before. It can happen again. We could find support right here. But if we do go lower, the 0.5 and the golden ratio are the areas that we'd consider, and that'd be anywhere from about 51 to 40 bucks. Right within that range that we originally said, which was 42 to 52, right there in that range. Somewhere in here that we'd find support. Can we go lower? Sure. We could go all the way down to 34 bucks. I don't think we do. I personally think $40 holds its support if we go lower. But again, I'm not even completely convinced that we go lower yet. We need to see 2 days in a row close below the 382 before we have conviction that we go lower. Or 1 day closing below $62 to make me believe that we go to 51 or lower. Okay. Again, ETH, this look here, it's the exact same here for Dash. Dash is right here, right before this drop. Dash is literally right at that same moment. Statistically speaking, the probability based off the fibs alone would be that we go to 51 or lower. But I need to see more. I want to look at the 1 hour time frame, and then we'll build out from there, and then let's wrap this video up. Okay, looking at the 1 hour time frame, the RSI is oversold. It's bearish overall. Rejecting the overbought zone is no good. From a low point here to a high point here, let's actually take this low because I think this is relevant. Right at the 1886. I could see us going lower. I'm not getting any signs that we're clearly going to reverse from here, personally. 4 hour time frame. Actually, let's look more than just the RSI. Stochastics. Stochastics suggests that we come up. There's a little bit of bullish divergence on the MACD. Maybe we come up a little bit. Maybe we do move up to about 73 bucks. But again, it's 86 that we need to get above. If we get above 86 bucks, then we're saved. If we just move up to 73 or 74, that's not compelling enough. 65 now, maybe we do move up about 10 bucks from here. But again, that might be, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, might be a better area to sell than it is to buy. You know, don't FOMO if we move up. 4 hour time frame. And I'm not saying sell there. We don't know yet. 4 hour time frame, the RSI is at the same areas that we typically are when we find support, when we move up. But again, a move up does not necessarily mean that we're saved. We could move up here and then come down lower. You know, something like that could happen. The stochastics are bearish. We're not getting any reads off of that. And the MACD is crossing below the zero and rejecting, and you're building bearish momentum. That's actually bearish. You know, this 4 hour time frame convinces me a little bit more that we do have lower to go. Looking at the daily time frame here, we do have some bearish momentum building in the stochastics, getting oversold like this. The MACD is still bullish overall, but bearish momentum is building as well. We could go lower and then find support around the zero. And the RSI also looks bearish. If I'm being fair, looking at these indicators, I would say that there's a high chance that we do go down to $51 to $40. There's a high chance that we do. And at this point in time, you know, for most of this video, I've taken the neutral stance. But after looking at those indicators and just again referencing Ethereum here, what we did with Ethereum, I would like to say that I do think we go lower. I do think I do believe the call is officially that we do go to $51 to $40, maybe lower. And likely, and I actually want to see here where that's your golden ratio, right? Yeah, 54. No. It was this low. I'm sorry. So we took the low on a weekly basis, and that low makes a lot of sense. Yes. Okay, there we go. 51 to $40, maybe 34 at the lowest. I do want to say that's my official stance now, but I think first from here 65, we probably move up about $10, $75, give or take here or there, and then we'll come back down. That's my thoughts. I think we'll form a lower high, and then we'll come down and probably plunge to $51 to $40 there. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Unfortunately, it looks like we're not getting that run that we were looking for, and that's okay. Sometimes that happens. From a high to a low, you did find resistance at your golden ratio. You did find support at your 382. You did everything right, but the rest of the market, I think, had other plans. And because of that, I think we're going to see some punishment. So likely you do go lower. $39.40 is the lowest end, and that is where your 236 is as well, right there at $38. So there is support down at this area, but we likely do go lower. That's my thoughts. Final end of discussion. And I hope I'm proven wrong. We will once again flip bullish once we close the day above $86. Okay, not if we wick above there and then we come back down and close below, but if we close the day above $86. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye bye.